What's up, guys? We get a lot of questions about camera gear. What do we use? How do I get started? What should my budget be? And I find that a lot of people overthink self-filming. So today, I'm going to show you how to self-film for $100. Alright guys, so here it is. Here's the mysterious $100 setup, okay? It's really not that complicated. And I think this is one of the things that I want to convey to you guys is self-filming is a very encompassing thing. It requires a lot of energy. You have to be very intentional about always taking your gear, even when you don't want to. And I think there are several things that happen when people get into self-filming that leads to them not self-filming. One, the gear, the system that they have isn't simple. It's not fluid. It's not easy. And hunting's already difficult enough. Why am I going to take all this extra gear? It weighs more. All these different things. Two, it looks like it costs you a lot of money. We're going to kind of address that in this video. And the third one is editing. I think a lot of people are daunted by the fact that, you know, oh, I have to have a $300 software. False. I've got to have all this different audio equipment. False. The cool thing is, you're probably right now watching this on an $800 to $1,000 camera. Your phone. I mean, when I started self-filming, we were in standard definition. There was no such thing as high definition. Smartphones didn't have cameras worth a flip, and you certainly wouldn't try and self-film. But this right here, iPhone 8 Plus, right, several generations old, it films in 4K, 30 or 24 frames per second, which is a remarkable camera. And what 4K allows you to do is crop to zoom. So today's entire video is going to be based on how to use this phone to self-film, because it's entirely possible and I think you'll enjoy it. So going back to the budget part, a lot of people think you need to have a lot of money. You've already paid for an expensive phone. You only need a couple pieces of gear, and I think for about $100 you can get into a self-filming rig. And let me explain. This is a standard two-piece arm. Okay, this one happens to be kind of a hybrid, out on a limb hawk deal that I've put together. It works amazing. A lot of people get into self-filming, they try it for a little while, they don't like it, and they dump these arms. These arms only go for about 150 bucks to begin with. You can routinely find them for about 75, 80 bucks on the marketplace or elsewhere. The only other thing you need is an adapter that attaches the phone to the fluid head that comes on the mic. Most of the arms that I see sold for that 85 range come with the fluid head, because a lot of people buy cheap fluid heads like this one, and there's nothing wrong with that. It functions just fine. So you're looking at 100 bucks and you're all in. And so while you don't get the zoom that my DSLR would or a camcorder would, most times I feel like you don't need it. First off, 4K allows you to crop to zoom, and you retain a really nice image there. In fact, the iPhone itself has got a zoom built into it, so you don't have to crop. And I think it makes things real easy just to keep it simple. Like, this whole setup weighs like 4 pounds, right? The arm goes in a water bladder found in most backpacks, or a sleeve in most backpacks. The base itself goes anywhere you want it to. A Nalgene pouch, it fits perfectly into a Nalgene pouch, and it's a simple, easy, repeatable way of going about it. And all you have to do is hold down the button when you're in camera view to open the screen, and you're already ready to record. The downside to this, one, you're obviously not going to have long zoom, so you're going to want to keep it within, I think, about 40 yards for it to be effective. And we're going to do a test here in just a second, and we're going to see what it looks like. And I'm going to show you guys what it looks like at 40 yards. Actually, we'll do it at 20 yards, and then we'll do it at 40 yards, and just kind of see what it's like. See if we can crop, and we're going to play with it to see what we can come up with. Then, once we are done shooting all this film, this entire video, actually from the very beginning to now, was edited on this phone. Because if you have an iPhone, it comes with iMovie, or you can download iMovie, which is a free editing software. And it doesn't have all the bells and whistles that a lot of people will want in like an Adobe software or something like that. However, it does enough to get you started. In fact, a lot of the videos that you guys watch, in fact, my #1 video, which is at almost 13,000 views, was entirely shot on this with no mic. And even though I'm using a DSLR now, and I'm using a shotgun mic right now, you don't need it. And don't let a high budget, or the lack thereof, keep you from self-filming. So let's give this a test. Alright guys, so this is what we're going to do. This is a typical bow hunting setup. So I'm thinking about, bow hunting. Everything you see is being recorded on the phone at this point in time. And this tree that you see right here, this very first tree, that's right at 20 yards on the other side of that. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to walk behind that tree, and I'm going to walk out, and you're going to see the image that you get going all the way there. And then those pines in the back there, just past this oak, that's at 35 yards. So I'm going to walk out there, I'm going to step out, I'm going to hang out, do a little song and dance down there by the pine trees, and we're going to see what it looks like. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. The footage speaks for itself. Either you like it or you don't. I really don't think there's any excuse for you not to start off self-filming like this. Don't worry about second angles. Don't worry about fancy editing styles. And if you want to do stuff to add depth to your video, I will gladly do some follow-up videos on very simple things that you can do to really add some interesting flavor to your videos, to add some flavor to your editing, all of which can be done on your phone for a budget. And so we'll do some of these videos as the off season progresses, but I just kind of wanted to do this one because now's the time that everybody starts thinking about gear and what do I want to do next year, and God, it'd be cool to start a YouTube channel. This is it, guys. This is easy. I mean, you've bought the camera. Use it during bow season. Start off small, have fun with it, learn, figure out what you like. You might not like a DSLR, you might want a camcorder, you might not like this arm, you might want something else. And the cool thing is, if you've bought this camera arm, it's 85 bucks. It works with all your other cameras. So you've already built on the foundation to allow yourself to scale as time goes on. Whereas I think what a lot of people do is they go cheap on a camera arm, they go cheap with a camcorder, they try and do too much with too little, and as a result, it's an unenjoyable experience. Whereas you shouldn't be on your phone anyway, so leave it on the daggum camera arm, and you know, just have fun. Record, send it to your buddies, post it to YouTube, see if people like what you're doing, and have fun. So if you like this video, hit like, hit subscribe, hit that little bell notification so that you get notifications every time we drop a new video. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to check out the podcast. We've got a Lessons of the Fall series where we talk to people that have already been on the podcast, and they go back and look at just last season and what they learned then. It's a fun, bite-sized, kind of minutia podcast, and it's really enjoyable. But no matter what you do, please do me a favor and get outside and enjoy the great outdoors.